Stander now, as you see, is approaching the ring here at Omaha. His handler's bringing him in. The hometown favorite, Ron Stander, the challenger for the heavyweight boxing title here tonight. "27 years of age, a year younger than his opponent Frazier, with those 25 professional bouts. And he's won 23 of them, including 15 knockouts. He has been taken down once in his career, and just once. Frazier, of course, against Bonavena, was dropped a couple of times. And many point to that fight as maybe a weakness of Joe Frazier. Somebody can get to him, and that's the hope they have here, that a good, strong punch, persistence by Ron Stander, the same sort of thing could possibly happen here in Omaha. Awaiting the appearance of Frazier in this ring, which, George, is not conventional size in the sense that it's, I believe, 2 feet smaller, an 18-foot ring. What differences does that represent?
Well, that represents just a little smaller area than normal for fighting, and this means it's got to be a good, tough fight. No room for moving around this ring.
Here comes the champion now over in the far corner, Smokin' Joe from Philadelphia. Joe Frazier making his appearance at the Omaha Civic Auditorium tonight. With his handler, Yancey Durham, and his entourage. This will be Joe's 3rd fight in the past 14 months. Of course, the Muhammad Ali bout in March of '71. He was idle until Terry Daniels in mid-January of this year, and now here tonight against Ron Stander. Daniels was game, but no match. They're hoping that Stander can give him a much better fight. But the general belief is that it's about a 10-to-1 shot, with Frazier favored by that margin. In Miami Beach, when the then Cassius Clay upset Sonny Liston in 1964, Liston, of course, was an overwhelming favorite at 7-to-1, so big upsets can happen in all sport. And certainly in boxing. That's what attracts this capacity crowd of 11,000 to Omaha. And despite a television blackout locally, George, I'm told they're driving as far as 200 miles away to pick it up where it is available.
These are all Standard fans, too, you can tell there.
The reach can be a major factor. And in this sense, Frazier enjoys a 3.5-inch advantage to him.
Yes, but if they fight in close, Don, actually work to the advantage of the other fighter. Stander, if he has a shorter reach, is better off when they're on the inside because he can get his uppercuts out better than the other fellow. But what the other man will do, what Frazier will do when he's on the inside, if he has a longer reach, will try to pull his backside back a little bit to give himself more momentum, more room to punch.
The weigh-in at noon revealed that Frazier was 217 1/2. He was looking for an area between 205 and 208, didn't get down to that. Stander as well came in a little heavier at 224, but he had his clothes on to the weigh-in, so who knows? We'll be back with the introduction of the fighters in just a minute.
I'm Joe Garagiola, along with hockey great Bobby Hull. We'll demonstrate the Stay Moist power of Rapid Shave. Here's Bobby lathered up. Now watch him in action, while Rapid Shave's exclusive blend of deep wetting agents holds in moisture. Hey, you really move it, Bobby. How's the Rapid Shave?
Still moist, Joe.
Sure is. For a really moist shave, get Rapid Shave. Regular lime or menthol mint. It stays moist all shave long.
Once people get under the dome, they just never want to be without it. They play under the dome. They eat under the dome. They do just about everything under the dome. Under the dome is Ultraban 5000, an antiperspirant spray that kept every group we had tested from 8 to 21% drier than with any leading spray. 8 to 21% drier. Come on, there's more protection under the dome.
Be it ever so humble, there's no place like Dome.
America wakes up with Skin Bracer.
Thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer is the morning aftershave. Its skin tightener and chin chillers can help you come out smoking.
Thanks.
I needed that.
Just about ready now for the introduction of the two fighters, the champion Joe Frazier on the right, the challenger on the left, Ron Stander from Council Bluffs in Iowa. And that problem with the lighting here in the arena has been resolved to the satisfaction of the Frazier camp. It has produced intense heat, and as you heard Les say earlier, they were concerned about a vision problem with Joe having to stare up into those lights. I guess George would apply to Stander as well, but his people didn't think of it, so it's been resolved now.
Right, Yancey's more concerned about Joe than Ron Stander.
I think he might be at this point. Although looking at him in the ring, he doesn't appear to be all that concerned, at least outwardly, but you never know what goes on inside a man's head and inside a man's heart at this very moment. I've imagined a very intense feeling of hyper-intensity would build up in a fighter leading up to that gong that starts it off to him.
That's right. Not only the fighter, but the manager, trainer, everyone associated with the fighter.
It's a countdown that begins, I suppose, when the training begins and goes right down to the final second with the bell to start the fight. The judging will be with one referee, Zach Clayton, and two judges. They use the 10-point must system here in Nebraska, should this fight go to a decision of any kind. If it does, it'll take 15 rounds. That's World Championship heavyweight distance. Although there are not many, even the most loyal Stander fan in this auditorium tonight, who believes it will be any burden on the judges or the referee in terms of determining a winner. They're looking for a knockout and hoping that Stander can give a good account of himself, and with the thought that maybe, just maybe, he can land that good punch, that one blow that might win the championship. I guess, George, is like buying a lottery ticket. You've got to take the chance. You'll never make $1 million.
That's right. You got to take that one chance.
Frazier's fought all the big names in heavyweight boxing, and he's beaten them all, including Muhammad Ali. And, of course, the world awaits that rematch coming up possibly this year or maybe next year between those two. Stander, on the other hand, has not fought what you call big-name boxing opponents. Now we are set to go to the ring, and your ring announcer for tonight, Dave Blackwell.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? 15 rounds for the world heavyweight title. The physician at ringside, Dr. Jack Lewis. The judges, Harry Farnham and Jack Fickler. The third man in the ring, the chairman and president of the State Boxing Commission, the state of Pennsylvania, Zach Clayton. In this corner, the challenger, weighing 218 pounds, with a record of 23-1-1, from Council Bluffs, Iowa, Ron Stander. And in this corner, the world heavyweight champion, weighing in 217.5 pounds, unbeaten in 28 fights, 25 by knockouts, world champion Joe Frazier. Now the instructions from referee Zach Clayton.
Gentlemen, we have reached the pinnacle of the evening. Gentlemen, we have reached the pinnacle of the evening. The World's Heavyweight Championship is at stake. This is your fight. And the only reason I'm here is to see that the rules and regulations of the state are carried out. This I intend to do. You received your instructions this afternoon from the Boxing Commission on rules and regulations. But I think it's important that I discuss a few with you. Number one, that in the event of a knockdown, the boxer getting knocked down must take an 8-second count. He can be kneeling or standing, it makes no difference. The boxer scoring that knockdown I want him to go to the furthest neutral corner, remain till he's told to resume fighting. If you come out before I order you to, I'm going to chase you back. Protect yourself at all times because you're on your own. Now, the 3 knockdown ruling in any given round has been waived. The 3 knockdown ruling have been waived. Protect yourself at all times, man. You're on your own. Who's your chief second stander? Who's your chief second Frazier? You men will be held responsible for your action in the corner. Shake hands now. Good luck to both of you. Come out fighting at the bell.
And so the referee, Zach Clayton, lays down the law and spells it all out. And now, set to go for round 1, your blow-by-blow commentator here is Les Kreider.
Thank you, Don. Fight fans around the world, the heavyweight title is on the line. Big Ron from Council Bluffs, Stander on your left, the Kingpin, Joe Frazier on your right. Frazier, winner of 24 KOs in 28 fights. And here we go. First punch, a couple of light lefts by Stander. Right hook thrown by Stander. George, do you think that Joe is going to feel him out, or do you think he's going right after him?
Well, Joe usually doesn't feel anybody out too much. He tries to go to work right away.
Landed a stiff left to the nose, but Stander doing what he said. He said, I'll come out winging just as Joe comes out smoking. We're in the first 30 seconds of round number 1. Stander from Council Bluffs now getting hit with that left. And, of course, Frazier's most devastating weapon, George, is the left hook.
That's right. That's his best punch. He throws it the most often, and he throws it with a lot of speed and a lot of weight.
Stander has never been stopped. He lands on Frazier, and, of course, the Go Big Ron fans are all over the place here tonight. And you see Stander staying on top of Frazier, George, all the way.
That's right. He's trying to smother Joe's hook, trying to stay in as close as possible with his own punches, and trying to come up with punches here, too, I noticed.
Although a 10-1 favorite, don't forget, Lewis and Schmeling the first time, Johansson and Patterson, Liston and Clay. It's happened. Frazier has been down twice in his career, both times first fight against Bonavena. Meanwhile, Stander has been down just once and claimed it was a slip. He's lost 1 and had 1 draw. Stander hits Frazier and his knees buckle. And Stander is carrying the fight to Frazier. Stander is certainly not afraid of him, George.
That's right. He's standing on top of him, throwing a lot of punches.
Frazier's been hit harder already than I've seen him in several fights. Stander has him against the rope. And it is Frazier who is fighting Stander off. Stander landing the punches, but Frazier hasn't really hit him yet. There's that left of Joe's. And, of course, if he throws that left hook, it's devastating. But it's Stander carrying the fight in the first minute and a half. Now Frazier getting through to him with the left. 1 minute left in round number 1. Stander of Council Bluffs, Iowa, the unknown against the champion Joe Frazier. All the pre-fight talk was how many rounds this fight could go. But there have been shocking upsets in boxing history before, George.
That's right. We've had lots of them. There'll be lots more in the future. We could have one tonight.
Stander, literally unknown outside of the states of Iowa and Nebraska, getting the dream opportunity of his life. He said to us before the fight, if it were in an alley, I'd be the favorite. There's Frazier's vicious left. 30 seconds left, round 1. The heavyweight championship of the world. Stander a surprise in the early going. Frazier wrestles him into the ropes. Stander keeps coming. Actually, each man fighting the style the other man likes.
Razor blade. It makes shaving easy. Now, I wouldn't dare do this with an ordinary blade, but Wilkinson has reinvented the razor blade, the bonded blade, bonded permanently at the precise shaving angle and exposure. But don't do it this way. Use the handle that comes with it. It's even easier. Safer, too. The Wilkinson bonded shaving system. It makes shaving easy.
DuPont presents the half-hour car wax, Rally Cream Car Wax. So easy to use, you can wax your car in just half an hour. And you get a shine that will last through as many miles of mud and slush and detergent washings as hard-to-use paste waxes. Rally, the half-hour car wax. Test drive it. Regular or large-size applicator pack.
Dennis Kiter, George Chuvalo at ringside. Frazier on the right, Stander on the left. And I don't believe, George, that Frazier was hurt as much as it sounded like with a crowd behind us.
Well, I think he was a little off balance, but the other man might have hurt him a little bit, but Stander isn't really getting enough leverage into his punches, whereas Frazier is getting a little more leverage, bending down a little more, and getting his punches off a little better with a little more momentum.
Don't forget, for Ron Stander of Council Bluffs, Iowa, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. So far, he has not flinched. He's carried the fight into Joe Frazier, but now he's getting hit with a series of those chopping lefts. There's a right uppercut, and it's Frazier packing the dynamite now. And I think George Stander realizes he's never been in the ring with a man who hits like this.
That's right, and so steadily.
Frazier, hailed by Dempsey and many of the others, one of the most devastating punchers of all heavyweight champions. And Ron Stander of Council Bluffs, Iowa, is beginning to recede for some of that power. However, he has not backed up a step thus far.
That's right. Actually, if he backs up, he's in bigger trouble, really. I think he has to stay right on top of him.
Of course, this is the kind of a fight Joe Frazier likes. Head-to-head, eyeball to eyeball. And that's the kind of a fight he's got with this 27-year-old kid from Council Bluffs, right across the river here from Omaha. A wild right missing by Stander. Frazier, they call him Smokin' Joe, and I think the greatest asset he has is his relentless driving forward, George.
That's right. He's got a lot of determination.
Stander gets hit with that left a couple of times in close at long range, showing the first signs of taking a beating in close from Frazier. And you'll notice Joe doesn't stop swinging. Stander slowed to a walk for the moment. Frazier continues to pound away. Zach Clayton is the third man in the ring. One of the great referees. He refereed Walcott Charles. So he's been in there with the champions before. Wild uppercut. He swung that from Council Bluffs, Iowa, and missed it. 1 minute left, round two. Neither fighter has been down. A right hook to the body by Stander, but you see that Frazier keeps right on coming. This isn't a fight. This is a close-in war. Stander keeps landing, but you see that Frazier comes right on through his punches.
That's right, and Frazier's doing a couple of smart things. He's shifting his attack from the head to the body, mixing his attack up very well, whereas Stander's primarily punching to the head.
25 seconds left in the wrestling match in the corner for the moment. Zach Clayton brings them apart. 20 seconds left. We're in round two. Neither man down thus far. Stander missing with the right hand. Landing to the body with the left. 10 seconds left in the second round.
You the new driver yet? Yeah. Let's give him the business.
Right. Make him sing the Schaefer jingle.
Here he is now. Okay, you, up on the barrel.
Okay, rookie, come on.
Every new man's got to sing the Schaefer jingle. But sing. Come on, sing. You better sing, boy.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Sing.
The most rewarding flavor in this man's world for people who are having fun. Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Was that all right?
Not bad, kid.
Nebraska's first heavyweight championship fight in the state's 105-year history. The Cornhuskers were number one. They hope Stander will be number one. He goes right after Frazier, but he's missing punches. Joe's setting him up in close with lefts and rights, a wicked left, and that's the first time Stander has literally been hurt. George, he's slowed to a walk with that left.
That really stunned him. He's in big trouble right now. He's bleeding very badly.
He's in deep trouble as Frazier works on the body. Stander desperately trying to catch Joe, and now the nose has been cut, and there's a severe cut on the bridge of the nose of Stander. And the claret begins to flow. Many of the experts wrong already. We're in round three. A lot of them didn't think it would go past number one. But the champion of the world, unbeaten, 24 knockouts. Frazier coming on. Left to the ear, left to the nose, and there's blood spattered all over Stander's face now. Frazier can't miss with that short left in close and the jolting right hand. And George, he has a good right too. You hear about the left, but he's got a straight right that packs power.
That's right, he has. What Frazier's doing is also setting his man up very nicely with the jab. He's using his jab a lot more tonight than I've ever seen him use it before.
Stander literally fighting to stay on his feet now as Frazier hit him with a left and a right. The blood pouring from his nose and his eye, and the champion of the world has him set up now. Stander, you've got to give him credit for his courage, his stick-to-itiveness, and he's hanging in there. There he is throwing a wild right hand, but it's Frazier landing the dynamite now. That left uppercut straightens Stander's face up again. He has won 23 of 25 fights, but never has he been in there with anybody who can hit like Frazier and who keeps hitting you. And there's Stander fighting back. 1 minute to go, round 3. Frazier with a vicious uppercut right over our TVS microphone. On this great night of sports, 4 hours of prime time, bringing you Super Night on television. And Frazier now has Stander in bad shape. And yet Stander lashes back with the right hand. Every time, George, it looks like Stander has about had it. He lashes back with that right again.
That's right. He's a tough boy. He's very determined. He knows what he has at stake here tonight, and he's not going to quit. He's going to keep fighting.
He is guts personified, and he's showing it in there tonight. 25 seconds left, round 3. And it's Stander with a left to the head, a right to the body, and a right to the chin. But it's Frazier's left and right doing the damage. Frazier is in there with a wild man. They call him the Bluffs Butcher, and you can see why. And there's a left, and Stander staggered. The closest to a knockdown we've had. Time running out. 5 seconds left in the round.
Your car's cooling system is in danger. Summer wants to boil it over. Winter wants to freeze it solid. The answer? Prestone 2 Winter-Summer Formula. All summer it guards against boil over, even in air-conditioned cars. All winter it stops freeze-ups cold. All year, Prestone 2 fights corrosion with its patented new silicone silicate formula. Summer, winter. If you can't trust Prestone, who can you trust?
What's that? What are you shaving me with today?
Now, calm down. This is Edge Protective Shave.
Foam, you call that protection? Why does he do this to me?
Now, come back. Edge is a unique gel that puts down a coat of protective lubrication first before it turns into a rich, wet lather. Protects against nicks and cuts better than bubbly foams. And you shave clothes. There's Edge, lime, and menthol, too. Friends again.
Edge gel makes a difference.
Friends.
Your friend will agree.
Starting, the doctor inspected the cut and says it was not serious. And look at Stander lash back at Joe Frazier. He's fighting to hang on now, and it's a left and a right uppercut by Frazier in the corner. Stander with the crowd behind him, but Frazier doing the dynamite, George.
That's right. Looks like Stander's going for broke right now. I know he's in big trouble. He's got to go for broke in this round before.
You can't sell Ron Stander short. With all the odds against him and the fight going against him, look at him fight back. Unlike Terry Daniels, this fella has not been down. We're in round 4. And Frazier is getting hit.
That's right, he's throwing more than one punch now. Stander before was throwing one punch at a time and missing, whereas now he's throwing in clusters of 3 and 4.
He was very close to going down at the end of the 3rd round, but he's coming back now and giving Frazier all the fight Joe wants. The king from Philadelphia, who was in a slaughterhouse before he became a fighter, might very well be in one here with this kid from Council Bluffs, Iowa. The right eye of Stander almost closed from that left. And a cut over the eyebrow, but look at this kid battle. A tremendous battle for the heavyweight title, with all the odds favoring the champion. And look at Stander hanging in and landing punches. Frazier seems to be biding his time, George.
That's right. I think he's trying to get the other boy to punch himself out a little bit.
Of course, every time Joe comes in with that left uppercut or that left hook, Stander shudders, and he's getting hit now. There he landed a right on Joe Frazier and answers with a left. Head to head, eyeball to eyeball. That's the kind of a fight it is. The hands drop for a moment, as you see. But Frazier with that
I'm sorry, I think he's having a problem with his vision, Les. I think the claret is getting into his eyes.
The cut is over the right eyebrow. 1 minute left. We're in round number 4. Neither man has been down. But it's a sheet of claret down the nose of Stander, and there's those lefts, a series. He turns his back. Frazier looking for the opening now. Stander hanging on for the moment, gets hit with a right but keeps punching. Frazier with an uppercut. Frazier landing in close. Viciously, you see Stander holding, and that's the first time tonight.
That's right. He's having a little problem with his vision also, Les. He's having problems getting his punches off. He can't even really see where he's throwing them.
Looks like the wild bull of the Pampas there, because I don't think he sees Joe too well. And the claret continues to flow, a sheet of blood on his face. And there's the left by Frazier and the uppercut. But Stander keeps throwing. 14 seconds left, round 4, and Stander has not been down. Frazier cutting him up methodically, in close, just cutting him to ribbons now.
Ford listens to what people want in wagons. That's why we pioneered this 3-way door gate that swings out like a door as well as down like a tailgate. Year after year, it's helped make our Ford Country Squire America's best-selling wagon. When we heard people wanted a smooth ride in a roomy mid-size wagon, we built this all-new Ford Torino. Now it's the best-selling mid-size wagon in the country. And when we heard you were looking for a low-priced wagon or an economy car that carried more, we gave you both in one. The new Ford Pinto wagon with Squire option. A powerful 2,000cc engine and front disc brakes are standard. And back here, Ford Pinto gives you more than 60 cubic feet of carrying space, about 10 more than some other little wagons. You'll find the Ford Pinto wagon where more people find their wagons, at your Ford dealers. When it comes to wagons, nobody swings like Ford.
Joe Frazier, still heavyweight champion of the world. The doctor stops the fight at the end of round number 4. We're now in the ring, and we'll talk to the fighters, George, and to referee Zach Clayton. It is a knockout at the end of the 4th round. It has not been officially announced yet, but the doctor looked at his eyes and called the fight off because of the cuts. George, we could see that his face was badly, badly cut.
Badly battered, all the blood flowing in his eyes. We couldn't see it. He didn't know where he was. He was hurt for days, and plus he couldn't see him. They really did right in stopping the fight.
Well, we saw the referee ask Zach Clayton. Zach Clayton asked the doctor to please go over and do something about his eyes. He took one look, signaled, and this fight has not been officially announced. The announcement has not been made yet. And as soon as it is, George and I will talk to Joe Frazier and to Ron Stander. 4 rounds, and they were bitter and rough. Here's the announcement.
Dr. Jack Lewis has not allowed Ron Stander to come out for the 5th round. The winner by a technical knockout after the 4th round, and still heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Frazier. Frazier.
Here he is, the heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Frazier, successfully defending his title. Joe, this fella did what he said he would do. He kept coming at you all the way.
That's right, he didn't slack it at all. And therefore, around the second rounds, then I could figure out something else. And instead of moving in fast, I'm going to try to rub his punches short and fast. But therefore, the best thing for me to move. That's why they keep asking me why I use the fast fella. This is why I use the fast fella. In case I run into trouble, I know how to move.
Joe, it looked in the 4th round like you were making every effort to set him up. That you felt you had him, you were letting him punch himself out.
Well, I was. Otherwise, I want to move and get clear shots because I work. He take body shots really well. Otherwise, he can return it too.
He's got a lot of guts, and he certainly kept coming all the way.
He's punched. He didn't back up once.
Did he ever hurt you in the 1st round when it looked like?
The first rounds, I felt him. Otherwise, he didn't shook me, but I felt him, and I took a step back. I was off balance a little.
Well, George Chuvalo said that you did, and George, we're going to bring you over now, Joe, to watch the final round and have you describe what you were doing. Joe Frazier, the still heavyweight champion, and Yank Durham, congratulations to you. You've got to be awfully proud of him.
Thank you, Les. I mean, I'm glad that people around the country looked at Joe. They see that nothing wrong with Joe. He's ready to fight anybody. He's still got that zim. And I don't know. He's a hell of a fighter. That's all I can say.
He certainly is. Joe, here's the camera, the monitor. Would you look down and describe what you're doing here?
So right now, Yank told me to go on and work out. But therefore, I see a little different, you know what I mean? Otherwise, the guy, he was getting tired, but he wasn't getting any weaker, you know what I mean? So the best thing I can do is move around and watch my shots and slip it and work it in. Otherwise, to touch up little jabs. See, I'm jabbing now. Otherwise, I'm trying to get a real solid shot. But he's punching and pulling back. Believe me, he know what he's doing.
Did you feel he was in trouble with the blood?
Yeah, well, not me or him.
Him.
Well, I felt like he was in trouble. Once I seen side open up in the nose, and therefore I got one over the eye. So otherwise, I'll just have to take him out with shots or either peck on that till it's, all over. But otherwise, Stanley's a good puncher, believe me. He's a good fighter.
No question about his gameness.
You better believe it. I think if he get the right amount of work after this fight, I tell you, I don't know. I'll think about coming back at him again. I don't know.
Well, one thing, Joe, you haven't been in a ring before where the hometown populace went wild over their local hero, but I know that doesn't bother you.
That doesn't bother me because I understand if you don't pull for the man, I don't think it's the right home. And believe me or not, Omaha is the right place to stand with anybody who want to come here. People are very warm.
Well, that's a wonderful demonstration by the champion about the city of Omaha and the people here. Now, we want to ask you a big question, and we'll do that right after this round is over that we're watching. Did you think he was about to go down at this point?
Well, otherwise, I see that I hit him a couple times and he shook him, and otherwise he pulled back. I think what really happened, the blood was dripping in his eye. He couldn't see. So otherwise, I didn't see no need trying to take advantage of him unless he really got himself together.
I noticed you turned him around in the ropes there.
Right. Well, I was told not to stay on the rope. I got to get out the rope for my safety.
He's a very strong guy, and you cannot let this guy maul him around on the ropes. So I told you, the moment you hit the ropes, keep getting around this guy because he's a very strong guy, and he couldn't just lay there and maul with him on the ropes there. So Joe did a beautiful job. He moved nice there with the round. He picked the shots off. He wanted to notice him moving there very nicely. The round is very wide. Joe got him under control at all times there. So it's just a matter of time there. I'm sorry the guy got cut as bad as he did, but just one of those things.
Well, it shows again that Joe is a devastating puncher inside, and he showed it tonight.
That is true. I mean, I don't like to see any guy standing in front of him like that because he's a murder puncher. And Joe doing it. So notice that's how he's moving there. That's something he's doing. He did that on his own. That got him
bobbing,
moving very
weaving.
Nice. Right, moving very nicely there.
We'll be right back after this word from your local station. Talk to George Foreman now. Stander's gone. Stander's gone. We'll talk to Foreman. You give me one to go. I'll bring him over. Hey, Ronnie. As soon as the commercial over. 30 seconds. Back, I want to talk to you. Just stick around.
I did use a dandruff shampoo on Tuesday.
On Thursday, your dandruff's back. Mr. Hall, maybe what you've got is an ordinary dandruff.
Flaking and itching could be early signs of eczema, seborrhea, psoriasis. Try Tegrin medicated shampoo. Tegrin shampoo penetrates to the scalp to loosen and wash away flakes. Medicates the scalp to help control flaking and itching with regular use. Tegrin medicated shampoo in cream or lotion.
Joe, one final word to your fight fans all over the world tonight. You said before the fight that you might have something to say about your future or some announcement. Could you give us any indication now on TV what it is?
I got it right now. I'm planning on taking the title in myself down south, and we're going to stay there until, let's say, the promoter somebody come up with the right amount of money where I could challenge this young man. They call it Cassius Clay, just like I say, Cassius Clay. Otherwise, I'm tired of a bunch of hassle and just going out of this guy. The fighting game is a championship, and I think we all should keep it around, let's say, fighting. And I'm going down there, and I'm going to build me a gym down there, and I'm planning on stay there. Anybody come up with the $3.5 million, I'll fight anybody in the top 10. But right now, I'm going to rest a little while with the title, me and the title. Thank you.
Good luck to you, Joe Frazier, the heavyweight champion of the world, and he is ready to fight Clay or anyone down there. Now George Chuvalo is here with us. Yank, again, congratulations.
Last, I want to say hello to my family, Mark, Nancy, and Yankee Boy and Chandler. They're home. We're looking.
About sickle cell anemia.
Yes, I have a son that is a victim of this sickle cell anemia. If anyone have any donation to send it to Central Penn National Bank, the Yank Durham Jr. Foundation, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Fine, Yank Durham. Thank you very much. Congratulations. George, nobody knows more about what it takes to get in the ring and fight the heavyweight champion of the world. This young man, Ron Stander of Council Bluffs, Iowa, tonight, has made friends not only in Nebraska and Iowa, but all over the world for guts personified. Ron, congratulations. You really deserve the honors.
Thanks a lot. I just tried my best, and he didn't hurt me too much, but it just cut me up, and but he could crack, you know what I mean? He laced me up a little bit, and I just tried my best. He's the greatest, and I'll say it right now, and Clay don't have a chance against him. If they ever fight again, I'll tell you that right now.
There it is from Ron Stander. George, how about you asking him a question, because you've been in the ring with Frazier and Clay?
Well, I just want to, first of all, congratulate you on a terrific fight. I thought you fought a wonderful fight. And
thanks, George.
I just want to point out, I think if you didn't get cut so early in the fight, that you had a much better chance. I noticed you were hitting him with combinations, whereas you were missing early in the fight with one-handed shots, like say with a wild right. Whereas when you put them together, you did very well. You're starting to get to him with good combinations of 3 or 4 punches together.
Ron, I think the greatest compliment to you came from Yank Durham. He says you're a one sweet fighter, and you're going places as a heavyweight contender.
Thanks a lot, and I knew he'd come out smoking. I tried to get him right, slowed down right off the bat, and then I was going to try to just work with him later on, but things didn't work out like that. So I'd like to thank Yank Durham and Joe Frazier. I think he's the greatest, and he's got my vote, and I just did my best. That's all I can say.
The best thing I can say is Stander is still standing, too. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, the only time I ever went down was on a slip, and I wasn't worried about going down with Joe.
Congratulations on a tremendous fight.
Thank you a lot.
We'll be back with Zach Clayton and George Foreman right after this word.
A more than one beer thirst. When this day is over, they'll be good for a couple of beers. That's why they'll be good for Schaefer. Schaefer's brewed with a rare quality of consistency that no other beer can match. Brewed to give you flavor that doesn't fade. First frosty glass to last. Schaefer's brewed for the more than one beer man. The man with a more than one beer thirst.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Sports fans of the world, don't go away. We have coming up another spectacular battle between the unbeaten heavyweight 10th-ranked contender Ron Lyle from Denver, Colorado, and Mike Boswell. And this is going to be a sweetheart, so stay with us. Right now, we're delighted to talk just briefly first to the referee, a friend of ours in Philadelphia, the chairman, the new chairman of the Pennsylvania Boxing Commission, a man who's refereed fights all the way back to Walcott and Charles. Zach, great job in the ring tonight. What's your opinion of what went on in there tonight?
It was one of the most grueling fights I've seen in quite a while. The last fight I can compare with this was Quarry and Frazier. Remember that in New York, the Garden. This fellow Stanley has nothing to be ashamed of, particularly in losing to the champion. He gave a good account of himself. He stood toe-to-toe with Frazier. He didn't back up 1 inch during the whole entire contest that they were fighting. And he hit Frazier with some good shots. And at one particular time, a combination, he staggered Frazier, recall, in the first round. Yes, and he looked good
Zach,
doing it.
I want you to know you did, as always, a top pro job. Thank you.
That's nice to see you. Regards to the family, too.
Thank you, Zach. Good luck to you. Zach Clayton. And now here he is, the #1 contender, a man who's undefeated. And I had the thrill of broadcasting his victory in the Olympic Games in Mexico. You've come a long way since then, George.
Very fortunate so far.
Well, let me ask you this. As you watch the fight tonight, we've all heard the comment, mainly by Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, that Frazier is not the same, that he suffered from their first fight, and that he's not physically well. With what we saw tonight, what's your reaction?
Well, I think he's physically well. You have to be to beat a fighter like Ron Stanley, but I feel that the Joe Frazier now I can beat tomorrow. I feel that.
Say that again for everybody.
I feel that the Joe Frazier now that I could beat tomorrow. But he's still a great fighter, and he's still got all the equipment to give anybody a hard fight. And I feel that if I had been in there tonight, it would have been a different story. I feel.
George, it's only right to be optimistic and to think positive. And I'm in between a couple of Georges, and I don't want to argue with either one of them. George Chavallo, tell me this about George Foreman. This is the #1 contender now. If he'd have been in the ring tonight, what do you think would have happened in this fight?
Well, I think it would have been an excellent fight. George, of course, wouldn't have fought the same way as Ron Stanley. George is very strong. Has a long reach. I think he would try to keep the other man, Joe Frazier, off balance with the jab and set him up with good punches at long range. And try to keep him away. Try to keep Frazier away, not inside where the other man does his most of his work, where he does most of his damage. George is a good fighter, and he uses distance like Muhammad Ali. That's the way you have to fight against Joe Frazier.
George, you've been saying right along with Dick Sandler, your manager, that you weren't ready. You had other fight. Now do you feel that it's
time is now? I'm tired of looking at these cartoons, Joe Frazier and these different guys. They're good fighters, but I'm a bona fide contender. I've earned this.
George Foreman, congratulations on your undefeated record. Continued success to you. We'll look forward to seeing you fighting for the title.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. George Foreman. And we'll be back with Ron Lyle and Mike Boswell right after this word.